So let's start with the new chapter, machines. Okay. So we start our discussion with the functions of simple machine. Try to understand, students. We use machines in our daily life a lot. Okay. For n number of things, you are using machines. Okay. The very simple example, if I want to give you, you are using a nail cutter to cut your nails. Even a nail cutter is one of the machine. We use n number of machines in our day-to-day life. For example, we use wrench to open a nut. We use we use a jack to lift a car and many more. Okay. In fact, we are surrounded by different types of machine. Okay. In this chapter, we are going to talk about simple machine. Okay. Our topic is not about machines, but we are limiting our discussion to simple machine. Okay. There are two types of machines. One is simple machine and one is a complex machine. Okay. So a simple machine is what we are going to discuss. But a complex machine is the one which is made up of n number of simple machines together. It's called as complex machine. Your nail cutter is one of a complex machine. Okay. Now, before starting with what is machine, before starting with the definition of machine, I want all of you to be very clear that why do we require to use machine? What is the function of a simple machine? So we start our discussion with the use. Why do we need machines in our life? Okay, so we are going to talk about the need of machine. Okay, so we generally use machines in lifting a heavy objects by applying less force. Exactly. That is what we fundamentally use machine for, in lifting heavy objects. But if you want to lift heavy object, then you are unable to apply the force required to lift it. So we use machines in lifting heavy objects by applying less force. Exactly. And this concept where we apply less force and we lift it is called as a force multiplier. Okay, so we use machine to actually have a force multiplier. Let me give a very simple example of force multiplier. Okay, a car, a jack is used to lift a car. You must have seen your dad, if he wants to replace a tire, then he use jack, and with the help of the jack he lifts the car and then he replaces the tire. Now approximately you will find that it's highly impossible for any one of us to lift a car. Can we lift a car? No, it's not easy. It's highly impossible for the strongest person as well to lift a car. But we are provided with a jack. And what we do with the help of a jack, you must have seen a jack. It looks something like this. Okay, so we place the jack beneath the car and then we rotate this handle. And after rotating the handle, you will find that the car gets lifted. Okay, so here we are using this jack, and this jack is used to lift a car. Practically speaking, we cannot lift a car, but what we are doing, but still we want to lift it. That's the need of the hour. We want the car to be lifted to replace the tire. So what we do, we use a machine there. And what happens by using the jack, which is acting as a machine here, we can apply less force on the handle, and you find that the the car is being lifted. So here you will find that we are lifting heavy objects. We are lifting heavy objects by applying less force. That is a force multiplier. So what is the very fundamental use of machine? So the very fundamental use of machine is to use it as a force multiplier. Okay, this is one of the primary function of a machine, to use it as a force multiplier. Okay, so remember this term, force multiplier. How we use it? We use it by lifting. We use it in lifting heavy objects, but we apply less force. Assume we have an object of 100 Newton. We want to lift it. So how much force you have to apply? So you have to apply 100 Newton to lift it. But you cannot apply 100 Newton. So what you can do? You can apply less force than 100 Newton, like 10 Newton, 20 Newton, 30 Newton, and you can still lift it. But what you have to do? You have to use machine. And by using machine, you will able to lift the heavy object with less force. And such type of machines which lifts heavy objects by applying less force are called as force multiplier. So in this case, your jack is a machine, and in which type of machine a jack is? A jack is a force multiplier. Is it clear, class? Now let's look at the another function of a simple machine. Okay. The second and the important function of a simple machine is it is used in changing the direction of force to a convenient direction. Okay, this is again a very important function of a simple machine, is that it is used in changing the direction of effort or a force. Now understand, there is a word we are using here is effort. Now what is the meaning of the word effort? Effort is something what we apply. Okay, it is a force that we apply. So we use machines in changing the direction of force that we are applying to a convenient direction. Let's understand the example, like lifting water from well. Okay, so when you are when you are lifting water from the well using pulley, you are actually using a machine. Okay, and how you are using it? You are using it to change the direction. For example, now this is the water which you want to lift. So what you do, you apply the force in a downward direction, and due to that, the water is lifted in a upward direction. Try to understand here what you are doing. You are applying a force. You are applying a force in a downward direction, and due to that, you will find the object is being lifted in a upward direction. This is the direction in which you are applying the force. In which direction? In a downward direction. And this object, the bucket with the water in it, is getting lifted in a upward direction. So what you are doing basically, you are using a pulley. What is pulley? A pulley is a machine. Okay, a pulley is a machine, and what it is doing, it's changing the direction of effort to a convenient direction. So lifting of water from well using pulley is an example of a machine. Here you are using a machine which is actually changing the direction of the force you are applying to a convenient direction. Okay, so your pulley is also an example of a machine. Class, are you getting it? Let's look at the another function of a machine. I hope you are copying all these statements. Beta. Let's look at the another function of a machine. What was the first function? It was acting as a force multiplier. What is the second function? It is acting as a change of direction of force. Now let's talk about one more function of a machine. Okay, now what is the function? We use machine to change the point of application of. Why we use it? To change the point of application of force to a convenient point. Okay. We use it to change the direction of force, and even we use it to change the point of application of force. For example, when you are riding a bicycle. Now, when you ride a bicycle, okay, So basically, what you want for the bicycle to move? So basically, you want that this wheel, your back wheel, this particular wheel, you want your wheel to rotate. Exactly. Now, how this wheel will rotate? So this wheel will rotate if you rotate the wheel by some means. But are you rotating the wheel by some means? No. Then what you are doing? You are applying a force. Where you are applying the force? Look at it where you are applying the force. You are applying the force on the pedal. Yes or no? So you are applying the force on the pedal, and due to the application of force on the pedal, you find that the pedal moves and the pedal is connected to the wheel with the help of a chain, and due to that, this wheel is moving. Understand? So basically, what we are doing here, we are using a machine, but this machine is changing the point of application. Are you applying the force on the wheel? No, you are not applying the force on the wheel. Okay, where you are applying the force? You are applying the force on the pedal. So we are using a machine to change the point of application of, okay, to a convenient point. So we use machine for this very purpose as well, where we are using machine to change the point of application of force to a convenient point. So this is the another use of machine. Okay. We have one more use of machine, and a very, very important use of machine for obtaining the gain in speed. What you want? You want a gain in speed. Means you want the machine to make the thing move faster. Like example of rowing a boat. Exactly. When you row a boat, exactly what you have to do. You know, in ninth standard we have discussed that when you push the water behind, in turn the water pushes the boat ahead. Exactly. So there is action and reaction force involved. Now, if you push the water slowly behind, the boat will also move slowly ahead. Exactly. But if you want to move the boat faster, as if you are taking part in a competition of rowing a boat, so there definitely you want the boat to move very fast. So what do you have to do for that? So you have to move the water behind very fast. So you will find here you are using the oar of the boat. This is the oar of the boat, and you are using it, and this system is working as a gain in speed, because you will find that this end of your, this end where the water is been going to be moved here, this part, this move, this handle, this end of the road will move a greater distance, whereas this part where you are going to move the hand will move a less distance. Understand? In a given time, you will find that your hand here will move a less distance back and forth, whereas this end will move a greater distance. Getting it? So here, if assume this moves 2, if assume this moves 20 centimeter, so this may move 200 centimeter. So by moving one end of the machine by 20 centimeter, the other end of the machine is moving 200 centimeter. So here what we are getting? We are getting that this will move faster, and due to that the boat will move faster. And here I'm using this oar, which is an example of a machine, and we are using it as a gain in speed. How we are using it? We are using it as a gain in speed. So try to understand, class, we are using machines for 4 different reasons. Okay. How we are using machines? Why we are using machines? We are using machines for 4 different reasons. Okay. And you should know all these 4 reasons. Okay. So let me list one by one why we are using machine. So what is the first reason why we use machine? So we use machine as a force multiplier. Okay. How we use machines? Why we use machines? So that my machine should work as a force multiplier. What happens in force multiplier? You will find that your machine, your you have to apply less force at one end, and in turn the machine applies more force on the other end. The best example I have given is lifting the car with the help of a jack. So that is our force multiplier. So we use machine so as to work as a force multiplier. The second we use machine is to change the direction of, change the direction of, we use machine to change the direction of force. Like when you are lifting a water from the well with the help of a pulley. So what you are doing, you are not applying the force in an upward direction. The the bucket with the water in it is getting lifted in a upward direction, but are you applying the force in the upward direction? No, you are applying the force in a downward direction. So here we are using machine to change the direction of force. The same way we use machine to change the point of application of force to a convenient point. Okay. And the example of this is I had given you when you are riding a bicycle. So obviously what you are doing, you have to apply the force on the wheels to get rotated. But are you applying the force on the wheels to get rotated? No, you are applying the force on the pedal. So what you are doing, you are changing the point of application of force according to our convenience. And the last and the very important function of a simple machine is to obtain the gain in speed. To obtain the gain in speed. So these are the four important functions of a simple machine. It is used, we can use machines as a force multiplier. We can use machine to change the direction of force. We can use machine to change the point of application of force and to obtain the gain in speed, or we can also call it as speed multiplier. So these are the four fundamental use of machine. So we use machine to fulfill any one out of these four tasks, or it may be that I am using machines to fulfill two out of these tasks, or it may happen that I am using machine to fulfill three out of these four tasks. So I can use machine to fulfill at least one, two, or three tasks out of this, depending upon the necessity. Is it very clear, class? Are you getting it? Please type yes in the response in the chat so that I am quite sure that you are clear with this so that I can start with the next one. All of you, there are 23 students. Please type all of you. Is it very clear? Any query, any doubt, please ask. Okay. Chalo, very good. So you have understood why we use machine. Okay. But chalo, we are not talking about the definition of machine. We are just talking about why we use machine. What is the need of using a machine? The need of using a machine is to fulfill these four tasks. Which are the four tasks? I want it to work as a force multiplier, or change the direction of force, or changing the point of application of force, or to obtain the gain in speed. Remember class, I can use machine to fulfill one task or two or three, but I cannot use a machine, or there is no machine designed which can fulfill all these four tasks at one go. Yes, are you getting it? There is no machine design which can fulfill all the four tasks at a time simultaneously. Are you getting me? It means that I can have a machine which is working as a force multiplier, as well as it is changing the direction of force. I'm having a machine which can work as the force multiplier as well as to change the direction of force. Or I can have a machine which can work as a force multiplier as well as changing the direction of force, and it is also changing the point of application. But I cannot have a machine which can work as a force multiplier and at the same time it is changing the direction of force. At the same time, it is changing the point of application of force, and at the same time it is obtaining the gain in speed. So all these four all these four characteristics cannot be in a single machine at a time simultaneously. At the same time, a machine cannot fulfill all these four tasks. Okay. So now let's proceed as your definition of machine, at least not the definition, at least the functions of machines are quite clear. So now we will start with what exactly the definition of machine is. Okay, so write down, this is how we define machine. Okay, so how we define machine, write down. So we say a machine is a device by which we can either overcome a large resistive force. Okay, means a large force which has to be overcome, which is also called as a load, by applying a small force or effort. So why we use machine, or the definition is a machine is a device by which you can fulfill this task. What is the task? That you can either overcome a large resistive force by applying a small force, or by which we can obtain a gain in speed as well as change the direction of force. So this is how we simple this is how we define simple machine. This is a very, very fundamental definition of a machine. That a machine is a device by which we can either overcome a large resistive force by applying a small force, or by which we can obtain a gain in speed. As I have discussed earlier, let me make it very clear to you, okay, that a machine cannot, understand, a machine cannot be used as a force multiplier as well as a speed multiplier at the same time, simultaneously. This is what I have discussed in the previous slide as well, that a machine cannot be used as a force multiplier as well as a speed multiplier. These two characteristics cannot be there in a single machine at the same time. Okay, so you can have a machine which is working as a force multiplier as well as changing the point of application of force and changing the direction of, or you can have a machine which can work as a speed multiplier as well as change in direction of force as well as change in the point of application of force. But very important that you cannot have a machine which can at the same time simultaneously be used as a force multiplier as well as speed multiplier. No machine can have these two characteristics at the same time simultaneously. Now you may ask, sir, why is it so? Why it is not possible? You will gradually come to know that why it is not possible. But in the beginning itself, you should know somewhere down the line that this is not possible. It is not possible for any machine to work as a force multiplier as well as speed multiplier simultaneously. I hope you have written the definition of it. Now let's start with the understand class what we are doing. So we are basically talking about the new chapter machine. Okay, and just now you are very much clear that why we need machine, the four important characteristics, the four important functions of a machine, and we have seen the definition of machines as well. But if you recollect machines, this topic is a new topic. You don't know anything about machine. Just now we have studied the definition and the need of machine, but this is a complete new topic to us. We have not studied machines in 9th standard, neither in 8th standard, neither in 7th standard. We have been introduced to machines somewhere in 6th standard. Okay, but we hardly remember what we have studied in 6th standard about machines. So I want, before starting with all the relations and factors and types, I want all of you to be very much clear with the terms related to machines. Because until and unless your terms are not clear, how can we understand machine as a chapter, as a topic? Because this, if you remember, if you want to study light, if you want to study light, whether it's a reflection or a refraction, you need to know the terms associated with light, like incident ray, reflected ray, normal, point of incidence, angle of refraction. Yes, so you these all are the terms which are familiar to you. The same way in machines also, we need to know the terms associated with machines. Once we are very much familiar with these terms, then it will be very easy for us to understand the rest of the topic. So let's start with the first and the very important term which is related with machines, and the term is load. Okay, this is what a term I'm going to use very often, load. Now, what is load, beta? So, load is nothing but it is the resistive or opposing force to be overcome by the machine. Okay, so what is load? It is the resistive or opposing force to be overcome by the machine is called the load. In general, if you ask, see, assume a box is kept. Okay, understand. Assume this is a box kept. This is a box. Okay. Now, how much is the weight of this box? Assume the weight of this box is 500 Newton. How much is the weight of the box? 500 Newton. Okay. So the weight of the box is 500 Newton. Now, I want to lift it up. What I have to do? I have to lift this box up. Okay. So how much force I have to apply to lift it? So I have to apply 500 Newton of force to lift it. But I cannot apply 500 Newton of force. So what I will do? I will bring machine into the scenario. I will use machine for doing this stuff. And what I will do? I will apply a force on the machine. And in turn, what the machine will do? Machine will apply the force on this object. So how much the force the machine has to apply on this object to lift it. So obviously the machine has to apply 500 Newton of force on this object to lift it. So this will become my load, because a load is nothing but it is the resistive or opposing force to be overcome by the machine. Means it is something which we are not going to apply. It is the machine is going to apply, and that force is called as load. Exactly. If you are directly going to lift it, then you are going to apply the force of 500 Newton, but you are not directly going to lift it. You are going to lift it with the help of a machine. So obviously, the machine has to apply 500 Newton of force. So the force which the machine is applying is called as load. So I will call this, if I use machine in this condition, then that will be my load. So what is basically a load? A load is nothing but it is the force to be overcome by the machine. Okay, and now what is the symbol for using it? The symbol we use it is load. Okay. Then what will be the SI unit of load? The SI unit of load will be Newton. Why? Because just in the definition itself said that it is the resistive or opposing force. So since it's a resistive or opposing force, then definitely the unit will be Newton. Because what is the SI unit of force? Newton. So it's a force. So the unit of load is Newton. Another very important, and the next important term is effort. Now what is effort? So effort is nothing but it is a force applied on the machine to overcome the load is called the effort. So what is effort? Effort is nothing but it is the force applied on the machine to overcome the load. If you look at this definition carefully, you will come to know there are two terms. In load, it is by the machine, the force which is applied by the machine. And in effort, it is the force applied on the machine. Okay. I hope you are getting it very clear, class, that what is load and what is effort. Load is something which the machine has to lift, and effort is something which we apply on the machine so that the load is getting lifted or to overcome the load. Like, let's continue with the same example, that this is an object, this is a box of how much weight is the, how much is the weight of the box? 500 Newton. Now you want to lift it. If you lift it, you have to apply the force of 500 Newton. But the problem is you cannot apply, you cannot exert that much of force. So what you will do then? So then you will use a machine. What you will do? You will use a machine, and assume you are using a machine. Now, what machine you are using? So I will take a very simple machine, just a diagrammatical part of it. Assume I'm using a simple machine, and this machine is a jack. What is this? This is my jack. Assume, just for the diagram, for the sake of drawing the diagram, I'm doing it. This is my jack. Okay, this is the jack. Okay. Now, what I will do? I will apply the force on the jack. Here, somewhere here I will apply the force. Somewhere here I will apply the, here I will apply the force on this end of the jack. And I will apply the force, and whatever the force I am applying on the jack is my effort. So this is my effort. So whatever the force I am applying on the jack is my effort. But then what the jack will do? The jack will apply a force, and the jack will apply the force on the box to lift it up. So that is my load. So 500 Newton is a load here, and assume definitely if I am using a jack, I am not applying 500 Newton, I am just applying 15 Newton. How much force I am applying? I am applying 15 Newton. So what is 15 Newton? That is my effort. How much the machine has to apply? 500. So that is my load. I hope you are getting what is load and effort, class. Please type yes in the chat box so that I'm sure that you are clear with this point as well. Okay, I hope you are getting it very clear that what is load. In very simple term, I will say that load is something which is applied by the machine, and effort is something which is applied by us. हम जो लगाते हैं ना बेटा मशीन पे, वो है effort, और मशीन जो लगाती है वो है load. So what we apply is effort, and what the machine applies on that object is load. What will be the SI unit of effort? The SI unit of effort is Newton. Why it will be Newton? Because it is a force. So the SI unit of load, the SI unit of effort is also Newton only. The SI unit of load is also Newton, and the SI unit of effort is also Newton. Okay. I hope you have written the definition of what is load and what is effort. Remember, now onwards, I'm not going to use load. I'm not going to use LOAD as load. I will always use L for representing load, and effort for representing, and E for representing effort. Now I want all of you, now let's take this example. Now I want all of you, no one will call out the answer, okay? No one will call out the answer, and I want all of you to type in the chat box which is the load and which is the effort here. According to your understanding, what is load and what is effort? Come on, type in the chat box. I want to see whether you are clear with what is load and what is effort. Type in the chat box, beta. What is load here? Okay, Saujanya has said that the huge box is the load. Very good, Saujanya. Yes, the packet down is the load, Aditya. Box is the load. Very good, Arnav. Load is a box. Very good, beta, all of you. Yes, yes. Very good. Load is the packet that has been pulled. Very good. Brilliant. All of you getting it. Brilliant. Yes, yes, yes. That's a confirmation that you are getting. Please type, please type. I'm reading your answers. Okay. Box, very good. Very good. Okay. Arnav, effort is machine? No, beta. Effort is not machine. Okay. No, no. Machine is, the effort is not applied by the machine. Very good. Okay. Now understand what is load and what is effort. Okay. So here, this is the box which has to be lifted up. Okay. So he is using a machine. Which is the machine he is using? He is using pulleys as a machine. So you will find that this box, this load, this package, okay, this is my load, okay, because this is something which has to be lifted. So this is the load, because it is something which has to be overcome. We want to lift it, so the box is a load. This is my load. Generally you will find we write L on that. Okay, what we do, we write L on that object, and that will be the load. Now what is the effort? So effort is something which is applied by us. So this man is applying a force in towards in this direction. Okay, so whatever the force this fellow is applying, this is nothing but this is our effort. So understand, whatever the force which is applied by this man is the effort, and this is the load. Okay, the box, it is having some mass, and so it is having some weight. So this is the load, and whatever the force this fellow is applying is the effort, and this box is the load. Is it very clear? You can draw a diagram for this. Quickly you can draw the diagram. Okay, not exactly the same way, but a general diagram, so that you can understand what is load and what is effort. So load is nothing but the box which has to be lifted is the load, and whatever the force this fellow is applying is to pull it up is the effort. Now you will find in this case, I'm not going to talk much about it, but here you will find that whatever the effort he is applying is less than the load. Okay, that's why he's able to do it. Otherwise, it's not possible for anyone to lift this. Now let's take another example. Now look at this and say me what is the load and what is the effort. Come on, type your answers now. Now be more specific. Okay, be more specific now. What is the load and what is the effort in this diagram? Very good. Yeah, very good. Come on, I'm waiting for you. Very good. All of you are getting what is load. Okay. No, no, no. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Who is he? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Who has said this? I'm so sorry. Murugal, effort is not the small rock. No, no. Effort is not the small rock. I'm sorry. Huh. Okay. Very good, Ishan. Very good answer, Ishan. I'm so happy with your answer. Very technically correct. Yes, Arnav. Very nice answer by Arnav as well. Huh. Very good, Anisha. Very good. I will read your answer, Anisha. Very nice answer given by Anisha. Very good. Arya, bachao, beta, effort is not the stick. Effort, understand what is the unit of load and what is the unit of effort. Remember, the unit of load and effort is force. The unit, I'm so sorry, load and effort is a force, and the unit is Newton. So stick is not a force. Yes or no? Okay, so stick is not a force. Huh. Okay, okay, okay. Very good. Now I want you to again reframe your definition more clearly. Now Anisha has written very nice answer, and here we have Ishan as well. Ishan has said that effort is the man pushing stick downward. So whatever the man, with whatever the force the man is pushing the stick downward, that's the effort. Anisha has said the load is the large stone and the effort is the force applied by the man. Understand? This is the right. Effort is nothing but it is the force which is applied by the man. So here we need to understand what is load and effort. So here, bacha log, this is the load. What is the load? This this stone is the load. In fact, stone is not the load. The weight of the stone is the load. Exactly. This is our load. The weight of the stone. Okay, please correct it. The weight of the stone is the load. Okay, so the weight of the stone is the load. And what is the effort? So the effort is the force applied by the man. So whatever is the force which this man is applying in a downward direction, this man is applying a force. So whatever the force which is applied by the man, force applied by the man, and the load, the weight of the stone is the load. So please write down the weight of the stone is load and the force applied by the man is effort. Now you may say, sir, the weight of the stone? Yes, the weight of the stone because weight is a force. What is weight? Weight is a force. So here obviously both the things has to be should be the same physical quantity. So load is also a force and the force is applied by a man is the effort. Okay, clear class? I hope you are getting it. Okay, so the weight of this stone is the load and the force applied by the man is the effort. I hope it is very clear now. Chalo, now in the third case, I want all of you to mention what is load. Now just don't say the object like the stone is the load. No, the weight of the stone is the load. And here the force applied by the man is effort. No, we have to be more elaborate in that. We will say the force applied by the man is the effort rather than saying man is the effort or the stick is the effort. Okay. So I will give you one more diagram. Now say me what is load and what is effort. Say me. Take your time. Very good, Ishan. Very good. Now you got it very clearly. Yes. Very good, Saujanya. Now you are getting it. Yes. Yes, yes. Very good, Harshita. Harshu, very good, beta. Harshu. Brilliant, Harshu. Such a nice answer. Very good, Saujanya. Yes. Very good. Anisha, Harshita. Very good, beta. Yes. Arnav, you say the force applied by the man is the effort. Okay. What you have to say, beta Arnav? The force applied by the man is the effort. Mughal, very good. Yes, very good. Swada, very good. Very good, Ishan. All of you, you are giving amazing answers. I hope I'm very satisfied now. All of you are getting it. What exactly is a load and what is a effort? Very good. Very good, beta Bhakti. Yes, that's the right answer. Huh? Okay, okay, chalo. So most of you have responded. Okay, now what is load? So this is the load. What is the load? This. Okay, I can call this whatever is the weight of this. Okay, this is the load. Or I can say here, I will write here load. And what is load? So load is the weight of the mud. The weight of the mud is the load. What is the effort? So the force applied by the man to lift and move is the to lift and move the wheel bar. That's the effort. So the load, the weight of the mud, and the effort is nothing but the force applied by the man to lift and move the wheelbarrow. So what this man is doing? So this man is applying the force, okay, with both these hands. He's applying the force and he's lifting and moving the wheelbarrow. So here, if I want a symbolical representation, here somewhere near his hand, I will write E, capital E, and here where I have written load, that is my load. So this is my effort and this is my load. Okay, the weight of the mud is the, okay. So now onwards, in all the diagrams, whatever we are going to see, you should quickly figure out what is load and what is effort. And then you have to write L at the point where the load is, and you will write E at the point where the effort is. Right now in this diagram, I have written E here. So this is the effort, and the entire weight, assume the center of gravity is here. So I will say this is the load. The center of gravity of this object is somewhere here. So this is the load. Clear, class? So I hope now all of you are quite clear with the terms associated with, with the load and effort. Now we will look at one more interesting term, right? The another important term is mechanical advantage. Now, what is mechanical advantage? So the definition of mechanical advantage goes, the ratio of the load to the effort is called the mechanical advantage of the machine. How we define mechanical advantage? The ratio of the load to the effort is called the mechanical advantage of the machine. Now, these are the terms which are being designed in this topic in machines. These are the terms. Now, these terms helps us for n number of these terms helps us to conclude about machines. Okay. The first and the very important term is mechanical advantage. Whenever we talk about machines, we always keep on talking about the machine's mechanical advantage. So what is mechanical advantage of a machine? So it is nothing but it is the ratio of the load to the effort is called the mechanical advantage. Generally, whenever you want to write the mechanical advantage, we don't write mechanical advantage in long form, we simply write MA. And MA is a ratio of load to the effort. So you will find mechanical advantage is load divided by effort. L divided by E. This is the mechanical advantage. This is what is actually a mechanical advantage. Now, a very basic and a very fundamental question, that what is the use of mechanical advantage? What mechanical advantage tells us about the machine? Okay, if I have some mechanical advantage of the machine, what does it mean? So class, the mechanical advantage of a machine helps us to categorize the machine. It is useful in categorizing the machine. Okay, as I told you, I can use a machine as a force multiplier. A machine can be used as a force multiplier. A machine can be used as a gain in speed, or to change the point of application, or to change the direction of force. Okay, so these are the fundamental usage of machine. So if I want to know that whether my machine is a force multiplier or whether my machine is a gain multiplier, a speed multiplier, then I have to find out its mechanical advantage. Yes, beta Harshu, I'm coming to it. I'm coming to it. So if I want to categorize a machine, like is it a force multiplier? Is it a gain in speed? Okay, so if I want to categorize it, then we need to find the MA of that machine. Okay, so understand, the MA of a machine is useful for categorizing the machine. We can categorize that is this a force multiplier, or is it a gain in speed, or is it only the change in direction of force. So understand, when your MA comes out to be more than 1. Okay, let's take an example of MA more than 1. Okay, let me show you something. Okay, and then we will talk about it. Okay, so I will stop this here. I stop it here and I will show you something. Okay, let's come to this topic. Okay, now I have kept a force of 20 Newton at force of 200 Newton or 20 kg at 1. Now I want it to be lifted by a 5 kg object. Okay, or this object, how much is the weight of this object? The weight of 20 kg object is 200 Newton and the weight of 5 kg object is 50 Newton. So now my question is, can this 50 Newton force will able to lift the 200 Newton force? Is it possible? Is it possible that this 50 Newton force will able to lift this 200 Newton force? Just type your answer. Is it possible? Very good, Saujanya. I want all of you to respond to this. Yes, yes. All of you are saying, okay, very good. All of you are saying, because we have studied something like this earlier. Okay, yes, yes, very good. Yes. So all of you are responding to it. Okay, very good, Abeta. All of you are responding correctly. Okay, so now understand, I want this very object, the 20 kg, I want this to be lifted. So what is this? This is my load. This 20 kg is a load. Okay, and this is what I am going to apply, and this will be my effort. So my 5 kg is the effort. So I place 5 kg at 4, and what you observe? You observe that this 20 kg is being lifted by this 5 kg. So here, this is my simple lever. This is a lever, and this lever is a very fundamental type of machine. So if you look at it right now, I'm using lever as a force multiplier, because what I'm doing, I'm applying less force. How much force I'm applying? 50 Newton to lift a load of 200 Newton. Okay, I'm applying a force of how much? I'm applying a force of only 50 Newton, 5 kg, to lift a load of 200 Newton, that is 20 kg. So this mechanism is right now working as a force multiplier. Okay, so what is the load? Let's find out how much is the load and how much is the. So let's find out what's the load. So here our load comes out to be 200 Newton. And how much is the effort? So the effort, how much we are applying on the 50 Newton. Okay, so let's find out the MA. So MA is what? MA is the ratio of load to the effort. So what is load? Load is 200. I'm so sorry, not 220. Load is 200 Newton. Okay. So how much is load? 200. And how much is effort? 50. So what's the answer? So you will find the MA is coming out to be 4. How much is the MA? The MA is coming out to be 4. Is it less than 1 or more than 1? So you will find here your MA is greater than 1. So that's why this machine right now what we are using is a force multi. Is a force multi. Getting it, class? This mechanism of a lever is working as a force multiplier. This mechanism of a seesaw is working as a force multiplier, because how much was my load? My load was 200 Newton. And how much is the effort? The effort is 50 Newton. So I calculated the MA. I understood what is load and what is effort. I calculated the MA, and my MA is coming out to be 4, which is more than 1. And that's why this mechanism is my force multiplier. So here, class, I can easily find out whether this machine is a force multiplier or not? Is it a machine, a force multiplier or not? How we get it, beta? We get it by finding the MA. So whenever the MA is more than 1, the machine works as a force multiplier. All of you clear when the machine works as a force multiplier, class? Please type. Okay, very good. So understand, when our machine is categorized as a force multiplier. You want to know which type of machine is, what you do? You just find out the MA, and by finding the MA, if your answer of MA comes out to be more than 1, then your machine is a force multiplier. Okay. Now let's reverse the condition. Okay. Now this is 5. So how much is my load now? Understand. Now how much is the load? So load is 50 Newton. How much is the load? Load is 50 Newton. Now I want to lift it by 20 kg mass, means by 200 Newton. Okay. Now what I am doing? This is my load. I have changed the load and effort now. So this is my load, which is 50 kg, and I want it to be lifted by 20 kg. Can I do it? Yes, definitely I can do it. But for 5 kg, I am applying a force of 20 kg. Okay, so where I have to keep it? So I will keep it at 1 and I will able to lift it. See, sorry, I will keep it at 2 and I will able to lift it. See, so I have lifted it. Yes or no? So here, yes, I can do the opposite as well. So for my load is 50 kg, but this my load is 5 kg or 50 Newton, and I want to lift it by 20 kg mass or 200 Newton. Can I do it? Yes, I can do it. So I place it at 20. And when I place it at 20, you find that I am lifting this 5 kg object as well. So here, if I'm using this mechanism where my load is 50 Newton and effort is 200 Newton, let's find out the MA of this. Let's find out the MA. So MA is equal to load upon effort. Load upon effort. Okay, so how much is the load? So load is 50. How much is the effort? The effort is 200. So how much is the answer? So my answer is coming out to be 0.5. Oh, sorry, 0.4. Sorry, I'm so sorry. 0.25. What is the MA? The MA is coming out to be 0.25. So what about the MA now? So is my MA more than 1 or less than 1? So my MA is less than 1 and my MA is less than 1. So this mechanism is working as a speed multiplier. How it is working as? It's working as a speed multiplier. Okay. So this mechanism is working as a speed multiplier. Clear, class? Understand, the load and effort is being swapped. Okay, in the previous case, whatever was my load, this case it is my effort. Okay, so when my MA is less than 1, then this mechanism is working as a speed multiplier. When my MA was more than 1, it was working as a gain in speed. Okay, when my MA was more than 1, it was working as a force multiplier. And when the MA is less than 1, it is working as a speed multiplier. Now, let's do it something very interesting. Now, here I kept a load of 10 kg at 6. Okay. So, how much is the load? 100 Newton. Where I kept it at 6. Now, can I lift it by another 100 Newton? 100, another 10 kg? And the answer is yes. I can do it by another 10 kg. What I have done, I have kept it at 6 only. So you find that how much is the load? So you will find here the load is coming out to be 100 Newton. And how much is the effort? So you will find the effort is also 100 Newton. So how much is the MA of this machine? So MA is load upon effort. So MA is equal to 100 by 100. So you will find the MA comes out to be 1. Now when the MA is equal to 1, exactly. So is it a force multiplier? No. Is it a gain in speed? No. So basically you will find I'm using this as only to change the direction of force applied or to change the direction of effort. Now understand what I'm trying to say by this. Okay. This object, this very object, where I want it to get lifted, I want this object to get lifted in a upward direction. But where I'm applying the force, so I'm applying the force in a downward direction. Getting it? So you will find that when my MA comes out to be 1, then what is the only task which is getting fulfilled by the machine? It is only changing the direction of force applied. So when the load is 100 and the effort is also 100, or when the load and the effort is same, your MA comes out to be 1. And in such scenarios, you will find the MA is equal to 1, and you are using a machine, or that machine is only changing the direction of force applied. Okay, clear? Okay, class, is it clear to you? I stop sharing this. Okay, so